Hi there, I'm Zoot Java. Today I'd like to talk about Black Lives Matter, aka Burn, Loot, Murder. But Zoot, how can you say such an unfeeling, hurtful thing about such a caring, noble organization? Well, quite easy actually. To begin with, look at the way they pulled a scam with the name of their organization. Everyone knows that the name is a sham, doesn't reflect what they actually represent. You can tell in the way that whenever someone is confronted by these activists, they shout, "Don't you believe Black Lives Matter?" right in their faces. The answers that they invariably get from the poor souls that they've accosted and yelled at is quite often, "Of course I believe in the statement that Black Lives Matter. I believe that all lives matter. But I don't agree with the organization that uses the phrase Black Lives Matter." This, unfortunately, is how they play their pathetic little game. Now they jump in someone's face shouting, "You don't believe that Black Lives Matter," even after clarifying how they agree that as individuals Black Lives Matter, but they have issues with the organization. This isn't good enough for these rioters. You have to submit to them. Or else. That's the problem. The or else side of them. Especially when 30 people have been murdered in the name of the Black Lives Matter riots since George Floyd's death so far. They operate out of inflicting fear on people. They don't understand that when you have people fear them, they don't respect you. And they never will. When people fear you, they will never be on your side and therefore never help you. This is very important, and everyone should realize that they must have respect if they hope to have people help them when they're in need of help. All the riots that the mainstream media have deemed peaceful protests, even the people watching their dreck must be shaking their heads when the reporters are talking about these peaceful protests happening while they're standing in front of a building going up in flames. I mentioned this before, but businesses boarded up with "We support Black Lives Matter, please don't hurt us" written on it. How many charitable organizations can you recall that cause this type of behavior? For example, has anyone ever seen "We support the United Way, please don't hurt us," or "We support the March of Dimes, please don't hurt us"? I didn't think so. What about the Black Lives Matter riots all across America, which have resulted in buildings being burned down, stores looted, mafia tactics involving extortion of some restaurants, etc.? And let's cap this off with the murders of 30 people. Then there has been chasing and assaulting anyone appearing to be a Trump supporter, such as at Brandon Straka's walkaway rallies. Even though these rallies are meant for people to leave the Democratic Party and vote for anyone else, not just Trump, but to think and vote independently. Look for Dr. Karlin Borisenko's YouTube channel for more information on this, as she was one of the people affected by an assault of a group of Black Lives Matter activists. See the link to exactly what happened to her in the description box below. The behavior that they display with going into residential neighborhoods, screaming into bullhorns to wake people up, verbally assaulting them. You can see the escalation in the violence and the inexcusable behavior by these people and where it is headed. Don't think for a moment that they won't come into your nice, tightly knit community, destroying the homes, breaking windows, entering, stealing what's inside, and assaulting people in the homes. They aren't doing anything at all constructive for what would appear to be the actual cause of the name of the organization. As children, Yes, children are murdered. They lay in silence and don't run through the streets burning and looting. However, whenever thugs and alleged sexual assaulters get shot as police are attempting to take them into custody, well, then everybody has to go mental and turn into a major idiot who wants to pretend that they actually care about these characters so that they can use these useless wastes of space so that they can run through the streets destroying things, assaulting people, looting, and causing as much violent mischief as possible as the mindless mainstream media allow them the smokescreen by referring to these riots as peaceful protests. You can also tell how this senseless rioting is taking place in almost entirely Democrat run cities where the district attorneys refuse to do their jobs because they're too gutless and prosecute these disgusting rioters that it must be a plan of theirs in an attempt to make President Trump look bad by saying that, well, this is Trump's America. The problem is that Trump isn't taking the bait. He constantly offers help to these simpletons running these states and cities in an effort to clean up the mess that the ordinary citizens are at the mercy of. They refuse his help, but then demand money from the federal coffers to clean up the mess that wouldn't be there if they'd allow him to send in the National Guard to stop these disgusting rioters and begin prosecuting them. Also, if this Black Lives Matter organization actually meant to help black lives, they'd take the millions that they've suckered everyone into donating and go into these problem neighborhoods, such as the murder stronghold of Chicago, for instance, and begin seeing what is needed by the children in the neighborhoods and opening up that massive donation bag of theirs and seeing to it that those kids not only got everything that they needed, but something extra to ensure their futures are going to head in a positive direction. But that isn't happening. And now, for the part that you've all been waiting for, my bad joke. Only in America can entertainers and sports figures be seen as intelligent human beings. Okay. Anyhow, I want you to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of more of my words of wisdom, and share my content on all, and I mean all, of your social media, because I get censored like crazy by all the usual suspects. Anyhow, until next time, have a Java on Zoot.